Hello and welcome to your first lesson of sociology. I'm Mrs. Wright and today we're going to go through what sociology actually is, a few basic ideas and also what to expect from the course. Okay, so in sociology you'll have two exam papers, both of them hour and 45 each. The first one we look at families, education, and there's questions on sociological approaches and research methods, so things like questionnaires, interviews, stuff like that. Paper 2, there's a focus on crime and deviance, social stratification, so that's where we look at equality really within society, and then there's questions again on the sociological approaches and research methods. Okay, so what is sociology and how is it different to biology and psychology? Well, biology might look at genetic differences. Psychologists would examine whether something like racism is caused by a childhood trauma, but sociology would examine whether a person was socialised with racist values or look at how ethnic minorities have been scapegoated. So they'd look at the environment that someone's been brought up in and where these ideas might come from. Okay, so I studied sociology when I was at university, and I just find it absolutely fascinating. It's this idea that we look at why people think how they do. Where do our attitudes, our values, our interpretations of the world, where do they all come from? Why is there such great levels of inequality and why are we okay with that? Sometimes we kind of touch on political ideas as well, and you can have a look from this slide also at the other things that we look at. So like I've said, sociology looks at society and looks at the ideas within society, and we think kind of where did these come from. So for example, here's some images, and we can look straight away in the centre and we've got this idea of consumerism, that everyone wants more. However much we have, we all want more. So some sociologists link this to crime and how however much money people have, we always want more, so sometimes we can't get it by legitimate means, so we might use illegitimate means, so turn to crime. Other things we look at in sociology is stuff like body image, and why do girls have this idea that they need to look a certain way? Well, what role does media play? Okay, so we're all individuals, but we all share the same society, we share culture within that society. So within Britain we often share the same language, the same beliefs, the same way of doing things. Sometimes if you've been abroad and things surprise you and people do things differently, like in Britain we love to queue, and in other countries they're not queuing, you're like, what's going on here? But it's because our societies are different, the culture that we've been brought up in differs. Okay, so there's some key terms that we use a lot in sociology, so let's start looking at them and getting comfortable with them. So one of them is culture, so it's your whole way of life passed from one generation to the next. Then we've got norms, they're informal rules that guide our behaviour. So think about the word normal, what's normal? What are those normal rules that we just follow day to day? Then we've got values. So values are beliefs held by a person or a social group. So what you believe in, and again in sociology we look at where does that come from. And then we've got roles, so patterns of behaviour expected of people. So these are some questions that sociologists are likely to ask. So what I think is really interesting about sociology is that you stop taking things for granted and you stop just accepting things, and it makes you put on kind of critical glasses and look at the world in a different way. So why is it when I'm shopping for my new baby niece, everything is pink? Why is that? Why do we associate the colour pink with girls? It's questions like this that we look at. Okay, so that was a whistle-stop tour as an introduction to sociology. I would recommend going back over the slides and having another look and making notes over them, and then when you think you're ready, it's time to test your knowledge. Good luck!